I am from beyond. Listen, and all you desire will be yours. Welcome to Spider-Dan and the Secret Balls. Prepare for Prattle.
Nativity Stories. Welcome to Prattle World. I'm your host, the ever-amazing, ever-spectacular Spider-Dan, and in this podcast, I spotlight entertainment's best-kept secrets that a mainstream audience may find boring. And welcome to Alternativity Stories, a month-long look at alternative stories set around the most wonderful time of the year. Merry Christmas to all, and all a good night. Are you feeling festive, my guest?
No,
didn't think so.
No.
No, not at all. Not at all.
No, I don't like Christmas.
Don't like Christmas. Don't like the holiday season.
No, I love Christmas. I do. I'm a big Christmas fan.
You're a big giver, aren't you? It's Dennis Whittle, obviously.
Hello.
In case you hadn't realised, it's good old Dennis. He is back yet again to talk weird and wacky movies, and this is a weird and wacky one. Which
indeed, it is.
It is.
Yes.
It is, and it is 2017's Better Watch Out.
You better watch out. You better
not cry.
You better. No one else knows the words.
Just doing a bit of Vic Reeves pub singer there. So we're recording this a little bit earlier than
normal,
but I just want to get a head start on good old best time of the year. Most wonderful time of the year.
Halloween.
Second best. Second most wonderful. But
my birthday. Sorry.
Oldham Comic Con. Couldn't happen this year. Reasons.
It's too soon.
Don't cry, Dennis. It's okay. It's okay. So, are you a big fan of like alternative like Christmas movies, like horror movies are set around Christmas? Or
yeah, I do.
Action movies.
I like horror movies around Christmas time. Yeah. There are a lot of them.
There's a lot of good ones, yeah.
Yeah, and even the crap ones are good. It's because some of them want to do what we all want to do, is kill our in-laws.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, it's a very stressful time of the year, Christmas, as well.
Yeah,
like,
and brings out the worst and best in people.
Yeah, there's a lot of negativity and there's a lot of consumerism. Look at Jingle All the Way, I mean, you couldn't make that film now due to online shops.
Look at Father Christmas.
Yeah.
If anyone needs to be killed, it's him.
Yeah, there you go. Krampus.
Big red nose.
Big Krampus. Oh, you got me the Krampus Blu-ray, which
I did.
I've still yet to watch. So I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna save that for this year. I think.
If you give me back, I'll rewrap it.
And you got me Black Christmas as well, which is very good.
Good Christmas movie. Krampus is great.
I think this movie has a lot of influence. I think there's Black Christmas influence on this.
Yes.
Along with kind of Home Alone, especially. Like Home Alone is directly referenced within the movie.
Yes.
It's not quite what I expected. Before we go into kind of like spoiler territory, the spoiler kind of happens very early on. So we're going to struggle to talk about it without spoiling it, I think. So I would recommend myself go out and watch it immediately, or get it ready for Christmas. Excellent Christmas movie. It's really interesting. And it doesn't go or kind of, it subverts your expectations of what a Christmas horror movie can be. I think, and challenges perceptions of how we view, a lot of characters within the film and the ages of the characters within the film. Would you say the same? Would you say go out and watch it, Dennis?
Yeah, don't even watch the trailer.
No.
I recently watched the trailer, and it kind of gives away the big twist. Don't watch the film.
Yeah.
Don't listen to this until you watch the film, and definitely don't watch the trailer.
Yeah. Yeah, just go in blind.
Cult classic in the making. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, especially a Christmas cult classic.
Definitely.
I think given a bit more time and a bit more exposure, and I hope that this podcast will give it that much more exposure to a growing audience, because I think it is genuinely a really good film. Spoilers. We love this movie. That's the first bit of spoilers. We genuinely
enjoyed it
love
a lot.
Really smart, very clever, well written, well performed by some of the young actors.
Darkly funny in places.
Yeah, like very disturbing in places as well.
You find yourself laughing, going,
Should I be enjoying this? Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Absolutely, just go out. Come back to us after you've seen it. Let us know what you think of it. If you have seen it, it's a corker. But I think this is our spoiler klaxon. Or an alarm, whatever that noise was. Who knows? Who knows what noises I make? Klaxon? What's a klaxon? How does that sound? How's
It's
a
like
klaxon
a
sound?
click, 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 click,
Yeah,
click,
clicky,
click,
clicky,
click,
clicky,
click, click, click.
or alarm. Whatever. Spoilers now. Like, just be ready for them because they're coming in hot, heavy, and they're breathing deep lungfuls of breath.
Moist breath.
Moist. We're a bit warm today. We're a little bit warm.
Yeah, it's a bit...
Considering the winter air.
Yes.
The lovely weather we're having, we are a little bit warm.
Money on my central heating, I'm telling you.
This isn't natural heat, is it, Dennis? No.
But we generate a lot of heat with all the hot
Passion.
comes out of our mouth.
We're very passionate about each other, the things we talk about, the films, the
nicest
comics.
thing you've ever said to me.
That's all you're getting. That's it. That's my Christmas gift to you, Dennis.
So he says.
That compliment. That's all you're getting from me. You'll get a big lump of coal next. You're a bit like Darkseid. You're gonna get a lump of coal for Christmas.
Not even like an orange.
Not even an orange. Not even one with candles in. Not even one
What's
of them.
that called?
I can't remember. Christingle?
Christingle?
Christingle? Chris Pringle?
Chris Pringle.
Chris Pringle? Walkers?
Isn't Chris Tingle?
Yeah, something like that. I'm not going to spend the time researching this, Dennis. We are just going
And so it begins.
You know, if you know, please write in and tell us what those satsumas, oranges, tangerines with the candles in are called, because I remember making them in school, but I can't remember. I looked this up the other day. I said, because someone was like, no, last year, that's it. I looked it up because someone was like, I was like, do you remember when you made that? And they're like, what are you fucking talking about? I was like, have you got insane?
They won't make it.
Why would you put candles in an orange? And I was like, I don't bloody know. It's some sort of tradition.
If they won't let you play Conkers, there's no way they're going to let you set a fire to an orange, I'm telling you.
Kids are missing out now. Missing out all this Fortnite and
I think it is Chris Tingle.
Chris Tingle, yeah.
I think it's the festival, isn't it? And then you do the orange and
something like
walk
that.
through the church holding them.
Well, maybe we'll look it up in the meantime. Maybe you can Google it. Fire.
Right, you got the citrus in your eye from there, and then you've got the sharp
health and safety nightmares
with the satsumas. That's the orange with the currants and stuff on the side of it.
Also, if you're allergic to those currants, you're dead anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Well, just the little party stick.
And what if you trip and you fall over and you get the candle in the eye?
Went for a picnic the other day,
right?
And I had, because even though it's cold, and
it's so much late December. It's definitely late December. We're recording this in. And, chilly.
Sarah, we'd finished and put everything in tin foil, and I went to do that, forgetting the little cocktail sticks were in there, and I put a spike in my hand. I was like,
"Put your hand on a spike." I was like,
shit. And Sarah looked at me and said, "You dickhead." I was like, "I'm bleeding." But anyway, Chris Tingles, anyway. Merry Xmas. I'm just going to take a drink of my eggnog.
Oh, yes. Christmas related. That's good. So let's talk about the movie.
Okay.
I think, again, we've had the spoilers. We're going to go headlong into spoilers. So, kind of starts off very like two parents kind of going to like a Christmas party, played by Patrick Warburton and Virginia Madsen.
Yes,
two great actors. Some of my absolute favourites. Very funny. One of my only problems with the film is that we didn't get a bit more of the parents because they were just so funny. They got a right banter, great chemistry. It's a very it's a loving couple. It's not an abusive couple or anything like it. They're a very loving couple, but they're calling each other dickheads and stuff. And, and
reminds me of another relationship I know.
I wonder who. But yeah, so they're pretty cool. And then the young lad they've got and his friends round. And they, chatting like young 13-year-olds, 13-year-old boys are just a bit, horrible sometimes.
Boys are 13.
Yes, 13, bear that in mind. These boys are 13. So, some of the things they say and do, not so nice. But we'll get into that. And they have a... I think she's supposed to be 18, is she? In this?
She's 18. Babysitter who's moving away from the area.
That's right. At Christmas.
So she's leaving her friends behind.
Her life behind.
Coming out of a breakup as well.
Yeah.
and she's doing her last babysitting job, and
that's it, and they're shipping off,
and then she's moving.
And that's it.
I can't remember where she's moving to. It's probably Nebraska or somewhere.
Maybe I think Pittsburgh. I'm going to say Pittsburgh. I could be wrong.
But she doesn't want to. She doesn't want to go, and she would.
No.
The babysitting job is the last kind of thing of a kind of being a child looking after sort of stuff. She's becoming an adult.
Yeah, she's kind of it's moving on. It's the commencement of childhood and becoming a young adult and making those changes in your life and making adult decisions about what you want to do, where you want to go, who you want to see, who you want to be romantically involved with, that sort of thing. And this one of the 13-year-old kids, what's his name? Is it Lee? Luke. So he is the kind of prototypical kind of teenager initially. You think he's
well-off family.
Yeah, it's kind of maybe pampered, spoilt.
I would say pampered.
Yeah.
He has brand new games machine, big bedroom, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but he's very much. I think he's kind of. His parents seem to think he's a bit sensitive and he's a bit babied, and he's got like sleeping problems and that he's got to go to bed at 10 and all this sort of stuff and make sure of this and and I think he's not like most 13-year-olds. He wouldn't really like that. They're not really into that idea of being treated like a child.
He's still mummy's little boy.
Yes, and I think he uses that to his advantage when he needs to. And he's got his little friend, whose name is Garrett. Yes, well remembered, Dennis. See, got a better memory than me.
Garrett's a little bit more geeky. It's implied that he's probably not as well off as his mates.
Yeah.
And there's kind of a bit of worship. He goes around to his mates. He's got the Shadow, he's got the Xbox, he's got PlayStation, whatever it is. Because there are other consoles on the market.
Yes.
So there's lots of other things there.
For this Christmas time, yes.
And he kind of there's a bit of looking up to him sort of stuff, and you can imagine him following.
Okay.
Whatever is whatever Luke says, kind of stuff.
Yeah, kind of like a sidekick, or
he's a bit more downtrodden and stuff.
Yeah, I think he's not stupid, but he seems a bit more kind of simple, you know what I mean, like standard kind of intelligence level.
He's a typical 13-year-old boy.
Yeah, he's the typical. The typical 13. But Luke appears to be the typical 13-year-old boy, and I think he does that very well. But and he kind of just goes along with everything, goes along with whatever he says, does, hangs out, And they're talking at the start of the film. The babysitter's coming over, and they're talking about scaring her because Luke fancies the babysitter, Ashley. I think that name must be said the most. That's the most line I heard in the entire film.
He says it a lot.
Ashley.
Because like Garrett's trying to say, you've got no chance. You're 13. She's 17. And he goes, but if I save her, kind of stuff. It's like it's a stupid idea.
A different side of me. I can be the hero.
I'm not a kid anymore. And it's like, well, we'll see.
And there's a plan to kind of scare her. So they're like. He's like, oh, well, I'm going to put Scary Movie on and maybe like you can jump out and, and then those, because it's the same hormones or something that's released when you're scared, when you're turned on. So he's hoping that will cross over in some way.
I'm always scared. Does that mean I'm always turned on?
Scared when you're turned on, or you're turned on when you're scared? Is it about the same? Yeah.
I'm 43 now, so it doesn't really matter. And I'm 43 because it's at Christmas and my birthday's in October.
See.
I'm playing along. No,
This is recorded well ahead of time, guys. Like way ahead of time. Again, because like last year with Christmas, I ended up having to record everything all in 1 week.
And like you were saying before, Christmas is a hectic time.
Yeah, everyone like certain people
and stuff.
Yeah, certain people couldn't make the schedule I had, so I wanted to kind of get a head start on this one and make it less stressful for myself and for everybody else. But I've got lots of stuff planned. It's a really good one. This is going to be the first one, so I really enjoy this kind of season as well, because it's kind of, I go, I know everyone loves these kind of, the obvious ones, wonderful, It's a Wonderful Life and Home Alone and stuff. And I think this is a really good kind of, if you're in for like more of a darker Home Alone, this is if you're like, okay, I've seen Home Alone a million times. I've seen Home Alone 2 with the weird bird lady. I'm gonna watch something a bit different, and this is definitely the film for you.
The conversation on the bed when they're talking about scaring her, they then talk about kind of myth busters, and they talk about certain things that may happen in said movie, Home Alone, and whether it would happen or not. So, they're having these conversations, typical teenage conversations. I say teenage conversations. Me and Dan talk about whether, who would win in a fight between Hulk and Superman. So, typical conversations.
Standard stuff.
Standard stuff. But, it all seems pretty much, wholesome. Yeah. And, it's snowing outside. It's
carolers.
There's beautiful lights everywhere. The parents are going to go out for a bit of a Christmas drink. There's a bit of an argument about the tie.
Yeah.
And questionable ornaments.
Campy ornaments.
Which I actually think is one of the best lines in the whole movie. I'm not going to say it, but it's
don't spoil that.
Spot on. It's really, really good.
Yeah. So they get in. They're watching the scary movie. Garrett goes home, and then stuff starts happening.
He makes a play for it, doesn't he? First, remember. So they got pizza. The pizza turns up. No one's ordered it. It's a bit weird.
And they're like, okay. Don't show the guy's face.
Yeah. Bit of knocking at the door. Scary movie's on.
Yeah.
Ashley's getting a little bit scared.
Yeah.
Luke puts his hand on Ashley's thigh and moves in.
Suggestively.
Yeah. She removes it. Not interesting kind of stuff.
Yep. And he goes full on. Like he's like, I like you. There's this. Like he lays his cards all out on the table. He's like, come on, I'm a man now. I want to do manly things. But it's almost like his perception of what he should be doing at that age. Like,
yes.
I know when I was at school, people like, oh yeah, we've had sex, I've done this and I've done this and I've done that, and you're like, and you kind of half believe it because like the way most people would talk about it and the confidence behind it, you were like, have you, like, and then it, and that's it. It's the emotional maturity and the physical maturity, and then your intelligence age, your age of intelligence, is all kind of squiff. And I know when a teenager is developing, they say that the brain is literally tearing itself apart because of hormones. That's why teenagers are just up and down constantly, because it's just their brain is just they don't know what they're doing half the time. They don't know why they're just doing it.
I must still be doing that then.
Probably. I mean, you've probably got that same mental age.
I'm still a teenager.
You're still very hormonal, I think, as well. So.
You're going to make me cry in a minute.
Why? Why? You've ruined my Christmas.
And and like kind of like the way he doesn't do it in a kind of romantic way.
No, it's like full on.
It's full on, mouth open.
Yeah, it's like I'm going to have sex with you, because that is what I am. I am a man. I'm going to have sex with you. This is what men do. This is how we're going to do it, and this is what will happen.
I watch Pornhub, and this is what we do.
Yeah, exactly. That sort of thing.
And, she does reject him, but in a nice way as well. She
so
get off me, you scumbag.
Yeah, which she could.
Yeah, it's kind of, it's inappropriate. I'm your babysitter. I'm old, this, that, and the other. I'm moving away, da-da-da-da. And, have a conversation. Obviously, he sulks. He's not going to get his end away. But then, knock at the door.
Yeah. So this is where the home invasion. This is a home invasion movie. I know there's quite a few out there. Obviously, again, ties to Home Alone, various references and stuff. So there's a man at the door, breaks in, chasing them around the house. They end up in the hiding, and they're making a lot of obvious noise, which I think kind of comes in a little bit later. And I was like, that's quite obvious. He could hear them. And he's got a shotgun, a mask. He's got a light on it. He's just walking around, and then they end up in the attic, and then all these spiders come out, and she falls out of the attic. He saves her. She's got real spiders on her face and chest and stuff. Pulls her out, saved her.
And he pushes her in a corner and says, I must go and get my dad's gun. I must save you from
I'll
this.
do it. And she's like, no, don't be stupid. I've got to protect you, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, no, I will do it selflessly. Goes out, gets the gun, doesn't really know how to handle it. It doesn't seem like he knows what he's doing with it. And even when he's got a good shot, he doesn't take a shot.
No.
Like even when he could easily, because if they find them, because there's a section in the wardrobe, and they're like looking at the guy, and he's not really doing anything with the gun, and you're thinking, why is he not firing the gun? This would probably be the perfect time.
Sit on a toy, and it's loud. And,
exactly. That goes off. There's a toy that goes off. There's a slam in the door or some falling over.
Basically, being the worst hiding people. And if they're playing hide and seek, you'd find them in seconds.
Oh, exactly. It's worse than any kind of horror movie where people are like, don't go up the stairs, bitch. All that sort of stuff.
I'm going upstairs in clogs.
Yeah.
I'm going to shut this door very quietly. No, I'm going to.
I'm going to wear a jumper covered in bells, Christmas sleigh bells, and run up the stairs. No, it's not like that. It's really obvious, really like, and you're just thinking like all the time you're questioning it, going, oh, it's so loud. They would hear him instantly. Why are they not going in that room? Why have they gone in the other room? It's almost, and then the twist.
Yes, the twist.
So she recognises the perpetrator and goes, "Is that you, Garrett?" And he goes, yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Pulls off the mask and it's little Garrett. Made himself look a bit bigger.
Yeah.
Big jacket. Padded. Yeah.
He's got, something else on.
Yeah, he's got the jacket's padded above and the head's on top of it, isn't it?
Exactly. So he's like, wait a minute. Is that? And so turns out that it was all a scheme to get the babysitter more scared so he would rescue her, fall in love. This whole kind of charade has been kind of, organised and created by Luke just to get his end away with the girl that he likes, who would never be interested because he's too young and it's weird.
And it seems far-fetched. I've done more to try to get a girl into bed.
That does not surprise me, Dennis. That does not surprise me. This whole thing.
I have done more charades than that.
Charades. Several charades.
I'm still living one now. It's just not working for me anymore. Well, so, as you can imagine, Ashley is a little bit pissed off.
Ashley is not pleased.
She is steaming.
She's fuming.
She's shouting at them all.
She almost fell out of a building. She almost got shot. She almost
broke her back.
Yeah. Because I think the shotgun did have a round went off, didn't it, or something.
And she's ranting away. She leaves the room, shouting at Luke, saying, "You're gonna, I'm going to tell your parents. I'm going to tell Gary. I'm going to tell your parents. This, that, and the other." Walking away, and then Luke runs up after her. She says, "Ashley, like, oh, Ashley." She goes, "What?" He smacks her in the head with a gun, and she falls downstairs.
No, he doesn't. It's not with a gun. I think he just slaps her.
I think he just
proper bitch slaps her. Yeah. And she goes all the way down the stairs, and you think, "Oh shit, she's dead."
Yeah. But I was like, "What?
Yeah.
What?
How did this? What?
Hang on a minute.
Wait a minute.
Wasn't
this movie something else?
I thought somebody isn't. Okay, we'll go. We'll go with this.
And again, you see that he then tapes her up. Paints lipstick on the tape and what have you, and explains that he wants what he wants. And they start talking like very kind of lasciviously about women and how wet pussies are and stuff like that.
And it's almost like a game.
Yeah,
I think that there's the scene where like Garrett's on like a scooter going around the front room.
It reminded me a bit of Clockwork Orange. When they go to the house and it's like singing in the rain. It's like they're playing before they get to the really violent stuff.
And it's like you're thinking it's going to be fine.
Surely.
It's gonna be okay. Just playing a game.
Yeah.
And Garrett's kind of saying, "Well, is this part of the plan?" Don't worry about it.
It's good.
Luke's saying everything's fine. This is it. He like draws some lipstick on her mask and stuff, and has a chat with her and things. And but I literally was still there watching, thinking he's just smacked her down the stairs, and he's literally the actor who plays Luke. The turn of him being this little innocent, because when she's shouting at him, he looks like, I'm in trouble.
Really
here.
sorry,
And then slap, and the turn's really. I think it's blink and you miss it kind of thing. And even when they are talking like dirty and disgusting. He is. Garrett's not as much.
It's like your average YouTube commenter or Twitter hate person,
but still having this kind of imagination that he's going to end up with her. That's what I get for it. I don't know about you, but I got this. Even then, after he's knocked it downstairs, he still thinks whatever's going to happen, he's going to be with her.
Yeah, it's going to work out.
Yeah, it's going to be fine.
He's going to find some way to, and they're like, no, even if, and she keeps offering him chances to I won't tell anybody. We'll clear all this up. I won't mention it to anyone. Let's just call it a day before anything really serious happens. Yes. Before we really kind of lose what we have and a friendship, and you could end up going to jail for something like this. And it gets very, very creepy very fast. And again, he kind of does switch a lot. It's very much very sociopathic kind of tendencies. He sees people as possessions. He sees people he can use them.
Including Garrett.
Yeah, Garrett, and who's his best friend, who support him. And, he doesn't think he's going to lose possessions because they're his, they're mine. Everyone else is kind of playthings. He doesn't see them as people. He sees them as possessions. emotions. And I think that's very much, and you can kind of see him snapping between various different stages and emotional things. And again, he's playful with it as well. Like when there's a bit with the baseball bat, and he's like, I'm going to sing into the baseball bat, like
he's dancing around and
50s singer, and he's like, oh yeah, and it's like he's not even done something really violent with it just then. It's almost like he's just like, yeah, this is fine, do.
It's just a game.
It's just a game, but then everyone's like, no, it's quite serious. It's like, no, it's not.
And you're kind of Garrett in it as well. As much as you want to go along with the ride, you're also saying, hang on a minute, that's really bad with the baseball bat.
Yeah.
And you would get, no, don't do it. And he does it.
He's the voice of reason, isn't he?
So he's kind of like, he's the audience.
Yeah.
You're watching it with him, and you kind of, and it's quite clever.
Yeah.
Because you do in your head say the same sort of things as he's coming out with it as well.
Yeah.
And you can see the manipulation that Luke has over him as well. All the way, he's saying, it's gone too far, too far. It goes really too far.
Yeah.
Yet he's still manipulating him, still kind of getting him on side. And that's
I think for a very long time in the film, what's good about Luke, he's very charismatic. So you're kind of along for the ride because you're like, he's one of these kind of like, almost like Hannibal Lecter, like winking at the camera. You're kind of like, you know what, you are awful, but I like you.
Yeah, and
so you're just carrying on, and you're okay with it.
And there's a really good scene with singers. Carols.
Them singers, the Christmas singers.
Yeah, the Christmas singers. And he's out there like giving them hot chocolate. Yeah. Well, like Ashley's tied up in the lounge, and he's like, "Yeah, hey, hope this hot chocolate warms you up." And he's thinking, "This is real," and he does play it really well.
Oh God,
I think he's
he can switch, like he can turn on a dime that emotion and that intent.
And it's described as him having a tantrum. It's like a 40-minute tantrum.
Yeah.
And you can see that in it. And there's one particular bit which we both said, and he's kind of really losing it. But because his voice is going up and down, and so he's still a kid.
Yeah,
he's not. And then his voice goes a bit deeper. No, and then he's up again. He's screaming, so he's still got those things in there. But I think he is, and I didn't like him.
Yeah, and I think, but it's for me, it's like you're kind of on side, and you're undecided. I think for a very long amount of the film, even towards the end, I was kind of like, I mean, still an awful person, but I kind of still.
Yeah, you kind of think, oh, he's thought this through.
He's awful,
the little bastard.
But he's good. He's good. But he's terrible.
He's done it. Yeah.
And I think till the midway point of the film, you're kind of like, you know what, this could be resolved.
Yeah,
we could work this out. The slap could have been purposeful, but the falling down the stairs might have been an accident. Yeah. The wrapping up is, panic out of what you've done, then you're going to get in trouble. The tying her up and stuff, and she's going, it's fine, it's an accident, I understand. You're still in trouble for the thing, but we'll forget it because of all this. I understand. Let's move on. And it's. I watched Tenet recently, and Tenet is a good film. You should definitely go see it. Really, really good. Very long, very clever, very intense.
You probably watched it on DVD.
Yeah, so DVD at Christmas time. Not in the cinema when it was released, within weeks of this recording. But yeah, going back. So again, really good film. It rewards you for paying attention. And I think this is one of those films as well, that when you get to the end, if you've noticed certain things and paid attention, it's all that more rewarding for you.
We watched it last night.
Yeah.
And even today, we watched like a bit of stuff on YouTube, and those things I was saying, there's a scene where Luke's kind of walking around and he's carrying things. He's like, hang on a minute. And like Dan was saying, yeah, that's from that.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that the first time. And there's little things that you notice. So
there's for example, there's a brick that comes through the window really early on. It says, "You leave, you die" on the brick. And then when we get outside, we see a catapult. Yeah, which is how the brick gets inside.
But it's not like a camera goes and shows it you.
No,
someone falls over it, gets up and carries on walking.
Exactly, it's very subtle. Yeah. It's placed, but if you pay attention, it's a more I mean, you can not pay attention to those details and still enjoy the film. Don't get me wrong, but I think you'll appreciate them more on a second viewing. I think, but because we noticed them first viewing, I still appreciated them. But I was like, and there's the paint, and there's the shotgun, and there's this. It all kind of comes full circle. But I think I think it's a very well written film. In regards to all that, it's very well shot. I know they created the house, massive house in the Australian Universal, was it?
Yeah, no, Fox Studios.
Sorry, Fox Studios in Australia.
The third biggest stage they had.
Wow. And it looks amazing. It looks like a real house.
Yeah, it's massive. Yeah.
I think they said it's like the house next door to the McCallisters.
Yeah.
Which I quite like.
Yeah. And it's and because the house is so big, the camera shots, there's some really good shots with people falling over and chairs and things, which are
kind of like a rig.
Yeah,
there's a rig connected
so the camera
to the
follows
camera.
people as they fall down and go back up again. And there's long sweeping shots of corridors and things like that, which you couldn't do, unless the house was massive.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's like when they were playing, when I said he was on a scooter, you couldn't really do that unless you built a house for it. But like you were saying earlier, that you're thinking this could be sorted. I think half of that is because they are just playing.
Yeah.
They're just, they're eating cookies.
Things have got a bit out of hand.
Yeah,
it's just like,
he's
no, you don't do that. That's not how we play. This is how we play. Okay, I've learned. I won't do that again. And again, like he sees it as a game. These are toys. Yeah. These people are toys to Luke, and that is why he goes as far as he will. But he's also upset when he loses them. It's his thing. It's my thing. I play with it. Nobody else gets to share it. And that's the main thing with Ashley. He doesn't want to share her with anybody else.
It's like if your Xbox control breaks or whatever, it's like, and that's what it's like. Yeah. This is mine. It's broken. I can't use it anymore.
Exactly.
I have a 10%
Yeah, exactly.
And Ashley's very much his possession.
Yeah.
Garrett's his possession. He doesn't like. He doesn't respect him. He's just something they can do with.
Exactly. And this is when the film takes its dark turn, and now you have to go, you know what? I don't think this is going to be okay now. I don't think this is resolvable. So early on, it looks like during the fake invasion, it looks like Luke chucks her Ashley's phone in the tank, but then later we see that he actually has her phone and he's thrown a fake phone into the fish tank.
So again, going back to the fact he's well planned.
Yeah, he's well ahead of time.
This isn't a spontaneous.
No.
I've slapped you downstairs.
Premeditated.
He's planned the whole night.
Yeah.
He probably in his head thought, if I get away with it, if she shags me, awesome. Yeah. If she doesn't, this is what's going to happen.
And I think he's also very cleverly, I think he's left room for improvisation within this structure.
Yes.
It's still very tightly planned, but obviously he goes, okay, that could happen, this could happen, or we do this, we do that. Yeah, exactly. Stuff like that. Is it Ricky? Rick is the first boyfriend.
Yeah, the boyfriend who she's recently broke up with.
That's right. So they've broken up, and he's like, I think he questions Ashley. So he's like, "Oh, you're a slut, sleeping around and stuff like that." And she's like, "No, I've never slept with anyone," because they do a game of truth or dare, like a twisted kind of truth or dare sort of situation.
And that's why me and Ricky aren't together, because he wanted, I didn't want to, kind of stuff.
Yeah, and there's a bit very early on where he's like, you're not going to remember any of this, because he's got like a date rape drunk roofie. He's going to roofie her, but she knocks the bottle of wine out of his hand, smashes it, so then he doesn't have the drug anymore. And again, that left him room to improvise, and he still went ahead with it and various bits of the plan. But that was one of his things. I think that he wanted to kind of keep her in that way, that if she did find out, or if it was, and go, oh, well, I'll just wipe her memory, just make her forget. But then that's not an option, and then it just spirals out of control, but yet in control as well.
Yeah, the truth and dare is a little bit awkward and a little bit
creepy,
uneasy in places.
So the dare, I think Garrett dares him to grab her breast.
Yeah,
you don't see the grabbing.
No, and I think that's good thing about the director.
Yeah.
Because it's a 13-year-old kid.
Yeah.
There are things in there that the 13-year-old kid...
Still, you still wouldn't see or
so,
do.
it's things are implied and things... So that's
I think, if anything, it makes it more creepy.
Yeah.
Because you're seeing his face and his intent and him enjoying it in a dark manner. I think that's probably...
Ashley's eyes, because pretty much the entire movie, all you can see is her eyes.
Yeah, exactly. She's constantly... Like, she's so expressive. Like, she does so much with very little. Like, physical presence is really there, really strong. And she is this kind of amazing kind of heroine as well. It's not like, she's going to run around screaming. In a way, that kind of... That's sometimes what I hate about horror movies, is just constant running and screaming without a break.
That sounds like what goes on in my head. Stop the screaming!
Just at Christmas time.
If I don't get my comics.
Just remember you've ordered them first.
I have, yes.
Just make sure you've ordered them. But yeah, I like that they changed that she is tied up and she is bound. But again, that would only work with an actress of her caliber, a young actress, because they're all fantastic, all the young actors.
And all Australian.
Yeah, all Australian, apart from Patrick Warburton and Virginia Madsen, who came in after the whole thing was shot, but they hired, while in Australia, they hired Australian actors. Great, good news. And they've got convincing accents. Like I never.
That's what I'm saying. I was surprised they were all Australian.
Never for a second did I think they were Australian. Like never. I totally bought every performance, and it's. I think nowadays we're seeing a real, like, for a long time there's just a huge bunch of bad child actors. There is a lot of them out there. Let's be honest. And you've seen films with bad child actors. But I think, like with Stranger Things and stuff like that, you see, they're either annoying or they're just uninteresting or they're just like, just poor child actors. And I think you see a lot more of that nowadays, that there is quality young actors coming through. Like I said, with Stranger Things, where the character Jeremy, the actor who plays Jeremy, goes on to Power Rangers and then goes on to be in Stranger Things. So there you go.
There you go.
That's how we connect.
So
interconnectivity.
Ricky and the phone.
That's right. So going back to that, Luke invites Ricky round
using Ashley's phone,
and he said, "Well, she texted me half an hour ago," and we're in the back of the mind we're thinking, she's been unconscious. She was running around for a very long time. Surely that's been more than half an hour. And I'm like, and she's like, I didn't call him. Why would I call him?
And he turns up with flowers.
Yeah,
and
apologetic.
He knows he's been a bit of an ass. We don't really know why.
No,
it's not really which he doesn't need to be.
No, not really.
But it's he turns up. Luke's giggling away. Look what I've got your phone. Eh? And again, Garrett's kind of, hang on.
Yeah.
Why that was that part? Why did you do? Was that part of the plan? I thought the plan. Is this part of the plan?
Yeah.
And you start thinking, what is the plan?
Yeah.
As the audience start thinking, you are again like Garrett thinking, what is the plan?
What is going on?
What is going on here?
Yeah. And we see that he eventually makes his way in because he's like, I can't let you in. She don't want to see you. Makes his way in. He kind of forces his way in a little bit. And he goes, right, where is she? And he's got Garrett's got the shotgun because he thinks, oh shit, we're gonna get caught now. This is the end game. And then he goes, no, she's upstairs. Don't go upstairs. She's upstairs. And he's like, okay. Goes upstairs, and that's where we get him with the old baseball bat.
Yeah,
swing it around, baseball bat boy.
Keep swinging.
Yeah. Swing, and then Ricky wakes up, tries to grab him, and then he gets a pencil in the cheek
for his troubles.
Yeah, because it's said that Luke has sleeping problems.
Yes.
Sleepwalking, and if they leave the pencil in the door handle, that if it moves, it'll fall out, and they can tell he's been sleepwalking.
Yes.
So they can do something about it. But he just uses that to stab him in the face.
Use it to his advantage.
Yeah. And then Garrett comes with a shotgun and then says, right, get tied up and all that. No, knocks him. They knock him over the head again with the baseball bat. And that's where you get the dancing.
Garrett tells him not to do it because he hits him from behind, and then we get him singing into that. And weird dancing as well.
Yeah, it's kind of a bit again disconcerting kind of behaviour from Luke. But then they get tied up. They do some other. What else do they do?
They make him smoke.
Oh yeah, make him smoke some weed.
He doesn't want to do it. And he's like,
I don't smoke weed.
Because it comes out of his cheek, they find that funny.
They find that hilarious, yeah.
So they hold his nose. He's like, what are you doing? Sort of stuff. And he says he's going to have to be relaxed for the next thing.
Yeah.
What next thing?
What's next?
Next? So,
and he's like, well, we always wanted to test this. And we're like, test what?
And like Garrett, again, go, test what?
Yeah.
Paint cans on the face.
Yeah. So he's like, oh no, you're going to Home Alone in.
Yes.
So he's going to swing the paint can down. Going to hit him in the head. The test is to see if it would knock him back like in the movie, send him flying back. Not the case. But they test it. The swing goes down. He's like, oh my god, don't make.
And while all this is going on, Ashley is managing to cut herself.
Yeah, she's got a bit of glass, bit of broken glass
from the broken bottle. So she's managed to do everything. She can hear Garrett and everyone screaming, and you can't do this. You can't do this. So
she's got a gun.
Yeah, he drops the can the first time, misses him.
Yeah.
He's like, what are you doing? So try again. And you're thinking, he's just playing. He's not going
to do this.
He's just playing. It's not going to happen.
He's going to do it, but he's going to do it too far the other way.
Yeah, he's just doing it to scare him. He's just going to scare him. It's all going to be fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
And then she comes in with a gun, and says, like, let him go. And he goes, all right then, and throws the can one more time. And what happens to that can, Daniel?
It hits him square in the face.
It does. Does it knock it back on the floor?
No, it does not.
No.
Does not knock him back in a cartoony Home Alone manner.
It does not.
It severely hits him. It bashes his brain in.
They do say his head exploded.
Yeah, they do say his head exploded, but this is the problem. One of the problems I have with the film. I understand that kids are the protagonists and the antagonists in the film. And they can't be seen to either doing violence or committing violence or receiving of certain violence. So some of the violence is cut away from, shot around. And the only issue I have is that I just want to see it.
Yeah, no, I love that.
I really just wanted to see it. Like, if you go whole heart, I've seen films with child murder. I've seen films, with children murdering children before. It's not out of the realms of possibility. So I just felt a little shortchanged by the violence in this. There's a couple of other moments as well where they're cut away from. There's a good sequence later on with Jeremy where he's hung. I think that was very effective. Actually, I thought that was really good. And there's a couple of other moments. A lot of other kind of shots and guns and knives and all that other sort of stuff.
Well, I think at that moment when the can goes in his face, that's it. You know this is not going to be resolved.
It's not going to end well.
And you see Ashley and you see Garrett, and they also know, this is not going to go the way they want it to. This is not going to finish.
They all make that mass realization.
Yeah.
And Ashley goes to shoot Luke with the gun. She's like, "I will shoot you," and he's like, "With what?" And he's like, The gun's empty. This whole time the gun has been empty.
He says something
which is why he didn't shoot Garrett.
Yes.
Which I didn't think about until afterwards. I was like, that's why he didn't use it.
Because he says, was it a person who keeps a gun should keep the ammo and the gun separate?
Yeah. Yeah, a responsible parent or something.
Responsible gun owner.
Yeah, that's it. Something like that. He always keeps them separate.
Even then, he's like dancing down the stairs. He's just smashed someone's face in. He's
smirking.
Dancing downstairs and this, that and the other. But it's like, I'm like you. I'd like to have seen kind of like a scanner's thing in the face.
Yeah, like proper, like, because they say his head exploded, but later on you see a shot of him sat there and his head is still there.
Yeah, just with the can in his face.
I mean, if you just showed me like his shoulders, for example, or part of a bone sticking out or a bit of skin flapping, that would have been fine. Like I would have gone, okay, his head has come off, or his head has exploded. But because they've said, it's exploded, and then I can see. It's clearly not exploded because his head is still there. It's not, because when you say his head exploded, I would expect no head. It's just all gone. Just like you said, scanners. But yeah, I do feel a little shortchanged because of that. But I get why, there's a lot of famous kind of, you used to work with the police. There's a lot of famous, kids killing kids in real life, and movies supposedly inspiring certain of those acts, which I don't particularly buy.
Don't get me started.
I don't want to even buy into that.
No.
But, we would both be maniacal killers if we were inspired by.
But no, I also kind of get the fact they're still going for a Home Alone vibe.
Yeah.
And if they showed the violence in the same, it's gonna lose that kind of feeling.
Yeah.
Even though by now it's taken a twist, which
still
you didn't miss, but they're still going for the kind of, because he's still dancing. There's still holiday music in the background.
Yeah.
They're still doing this, that, and the other. So they're still going for that vibe. So if you saw someone's head explode, I think you'd lose that connection.
Yeah.
And it'd become more like Black Christmas or something like that. And I think they're still trying to go for, because we watched the documentary and he was like saying he was going for the Home Alone
vibe.
That's where he went. And I think if you just see,
I think it would be a very different film if it was more like kind of Black Christmas. And if you're after Black Christmas or Silent Night, Deadly Night, I recommend both of those.
I like Silent Night.
Yeah, through all these Christmas kind of horror films are good. I remember last year we did the Killer Santas with Ben. Listed some good kind of horror movies and cartoons and all sorts, so that was a good one. But yeah, just bear that in mind if you're expecting.
It's not a gore fest.
No, it's not a gore fest. It's more. I'd say it's more of a thriller than like a.
I'd say more of a thriller,
than a straight up like horror movie.
Yeah.
If you're after a horror movie, it's probably not. But it's a good thriller. It's well written. It's tight.
I think the producers call it a thriller as well, don't they? They call it a thriller.
Yeah, and I think it kind of. it almost kind of slightly borders both. It kind of treads the line between both.
Because the actress who plays Ashley, she did like 3 horror movies and didn't want to do another one.
Yeah.
It's not a horror movie, it's a thriller.
Yeah.
So that's, oh, you're right. So
I think it's because, I think mainly because it's set at Christmas.
Yes.
That people go, Christmas horror. Like a lot of the time they go, if there's a horror, and there's not many Christmas thrillers.
No,
I'd say there's not many that are set at Christmas. So I think because of that, people just seem to put it in that camp. But I would argue it is more of a thriller. Yeah. Like, if you had Michael Douglas and bloody Christopher Walken and Demi Moore, just pulling names out of a hat. Sounds like a good movie to me, but
I'm just thinking, wait, it's another 1980s movie going here. No one who's done a film in the last 20 years.
Samara Weaving, Asia Butterfield, and bloody Dane DeHaan. There you go.
Thank you.
There you go. We're a bit more up to date now, are we? But if it was adults, for example, it would be more of a thriller.
Yeah,
yeah, you could see that it would be more of a thriller based on that. And I still do feel shortchanged, but I get what you mean.
Because we're both, I'd like to think we're both quite hardcore horror fans.
Yeah.
And I think part of horror is gore. I think it's weird because stuff like Hostel and things like that is almost too much gore and it becomes comical.
Yeah, it's got the gornography.
And the torture porn.
Torture porn,
I think it goes too far, but if it's a slasher movie or a sort of home invasion like this and stuff like that, that's kind of what you want. And there's only really 3 murders.
Yeah, there's not many. I guess 3.
Yeah, and you don't see any of them really.
No, it's never. Again, it's more. I think what's good in a way is I like when, as much as I say I want to see the gore, I do like when stuff is implied and you see it in your imagination. So
yeah, because your imagination's fucked up.
Oh
like mine,
totally fucked up.
So it's
worse.
Usually worse. Yeah, that's why books are good.
Yeah. But I think with the paint can specifically, I wanted to see that.
Because they made such a big deal at the beginning of the movie when they sat in the bed about whether it's going to explode, is going to knock him over. Then they make the reference again when he's going upstairs, he's going to do that, and then they do the Mythbusters. We're going to do it Mythbusters style.
Yeah, and they're saying, they reference Home Alone.
Yeah.
And again, it's in the trailer.
Yes.
I remember seeing the trailer. I remember that because it was like, it's very Home Alone, that. And then obviously in the trailer they cut away.
He's wearing a Christmas jumper. And stuff.
Yeah, and they cut away in the trailer, so I didn't think they cut away in the film.
Yeah.
But again, I do like it when stuff is implied, like the breast, the grabbing of the breast. I think that's more effective.
Yeah.
Seeing it in his eyes. I think there's certain moments, but the paint can for me is something I felt I was shortchanged.
I have just noticed his jumper's similar to Home Alone jumper.
Yeah.
It's red, white, so it's a similar sort of thing.
Yeah. There you go. And the spiders as well. The spiders, the carol singers.
Yes.
So there's a lot of that going. There's a lot of that going on.
Even now, I'm piecing bits together.
Yeah, you can see it. That's how clever a movie is. That's how good, well made, well performed, well written, well acted. Like set, everything, the whole thing. It looks like it was a joy to make. Even the garden and in the snow and everything. Like I totally believe that. I know it's in a set, but I totally believe and again, a lot of it's practical. There's very few obvious.
There was like 100 shots when the CG shots.
Yeah,
most of them were backgrounds.
And again, I think that's how you use CG best.
Yeah, I agree.
Is you put it in the background.
Look at Batman Begins. Yeah, a similar sort of amount of shots.
Exactly. You don't need. I think a lot of people. It's when it's front and center CG where people go, "That's bullshit. I don't like it." Yeah. I think when you put it in the background, or it's the night sky or things like that, like people, the best CG is the CG you don't notice.
Yes, very much.
That's the best. CG.
You wouldn't know. You wouldn't know the trees.
That's because that's how good it is, and that's how well done it is. But again, certain creatures and characters need to be CG, so there's given certain shots, but that's fine. But yeah, I loved it. I love the set dressing. I love the humor. I love the dark subject matter. I like the just crazy kind of performance. I think
his performance in it is weird because I disliked him immensely, but also thought he's awesome.
Yeah,
he's clever. He's done and for a 13 because he's playing a 13, but he's 13 when he's doing the film as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And the way like he just like I said, I'm not going to go into the scene, but he does this rant. Yeah. But then once he finishes the rant, he's like, okay. And carries on.
Yeah.
It's like, hang on a minute.
Has an absolute meltdown, and then goes, oh, well, do.
Yeah, carries on.
And what's really good about that meltdown as well is that that's the beauty of casting a 13-year-old to play a 13-year-old. His voice is breaking.
I'll say yes.
His voice is breaking as he's having this rant, and it works because he's, it's not obviously it's something that's just happening to the actor, but within the scene you can see this child and adult within him at war, and these personalities are clashing. It's like, no, I want to do this, but I like this, and I feel this way, but no, but my body is telling me to do this, and I feel this way, but I still have a mentality of a child, and it's constantly at war. And again, even at that moment, and then moving away. Anyway, let's get on with the next thing.
And my only real kind of bugbear is to me. It kind of fizzles at the end.
Yeah,
I don't get the money shot at the end. For me, for this sort of movie,
yeah,
I would like just that. When
closure.
Yeah, the little tiny bit, and I get why they're doing it because it's leaving stuff in the air, and it's you can fill the blanks in yourself. And me and Dan have filled in the blanks this afternoon.
Certainly,
we have decided how the film would end.
Yes,
but it's just. There's films like Eden Lake and stuff like that, which, I again, you sometimes want the ending you're not going to get. And I didn't get the ending I wanted. Having said that, I love the movie.
Yeah.
And I love the performances. And it's a very small cast. You can imagine the set being very closed, very small.
But again, I think what's good about this film is, again, sometimes you go into a film and you have expectations. People have expectations with Batman vs. Superman, for example. And you go in, it's not quite the film you expect. Is it a good film? Is it a good film? Or are you basing that on your expectations? Yeah. It's stuff like that. But I think, like we said, this film, subverts every expectation I had. Even the trailer, I still didn't think it was quite the movie I always thought it was going to be.
And I'd never heard of it until you brought it.
Yeah.
I'd Googled it, and then I'd kind of watched the trailer, and I'd get like you. I thought it was going to be just a home invasion.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be the same, someone's going to come in and do this kind of stuff.
I thought it was going to be a home invasion, like Home Alone, same sort of thing, but then he was going to go like absolute apeshit. Like he was going to go overboard. Like he was going to be like Kevin McCallister, defending the household, but he was going to go a bit too far towards the end, and then maybe Ashley would come in and say, no, you've got to stop, and maybe have to stop him now. Yeah. That's what I thought it was.
But even like the like CD cover and the posters, they've got no idea what they're gonna, what the kind of relationship between them is.
Exactly. Yeah.
You think that they're defending them, helping each other,
holding a knife. We're
together
in a cupboard together.
Yeah. So, but it's really not.
Yeah.
He's a little bastard. To be fair.
So let's talk about the end of the film because that's where we're heading. So we're getting towards the end. So basically, like we said earlier, Ashley is Luke's possession. He sees it that way. So we get to the end, and it turns out that basically he's trying to get rid of all the people that consider Ashley their possession. So the former boyfriends she went out with, he's inviting them and he's eliminating them, basically. So he is, this is my possession, it's mine, nobody else can have it, it's mine, I deserve it, I want it, I'll get it. So now I've done that, it's all mine, great. And eventually he decides that she starts... quite cleverly, she kind of, again, the character's very clever. She's very badass. She's got a lot of agency. She doesn't put up with this kind of shit, this trolling, this young troll, online troll in real life kind of thing. And eventually she kind of, she gets captured, she escapes, gets captured again. And then eventually she stops reacting to him. She just goes, I'm not going to give you anything. I'm just going to... He's like, no, talk to me. Tell me I'm a disappointment. Tell me I'm this. Tell me I'm horrible, or say you love me, or just give me anything. No reaction. And then eventually he stabs her in the throat, slashes her throat.
Stabs her in the throat. Yeah. If you're not going to do anything,
if I can't have you, nobody can have you. Exactly. If you're not my possession, you're nobody's. Yeah. I've killed off all the competition. You by right should be mine.
Yeah, by now you should be saying that there's nobody else here.
Yeah.
I'm yours.
I've killed off the competition.
She's like, nope, I'm not going to react to you. You're not here. You're nothing.
You are nothing. You're a boy. You're a child. But he doesn't even get that. He doesn't like, you're a boy. You're a child. You're a little freak. You're a little sociopath.
She just doesn't do anything.
She just doesn't do it. And eventually he gets frustrated and just goes, right, well, That's it. It's you dead. Then comes the clever bit.
Yes.
So now he goes back through the whole kind of film, like kind of back steps, and links every person to every kind of death. Quite clever. You see all the parts and bits and pieces.
All the bits that you kind of in the background you've missed. They come to the front, and I get it now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So the bit with Jeremy, the second boyfriend, he gets him to write an apology because he won't let her him in the house until he's apologised. But then it looks like he hangs himself, and it's I'm so sorry, Ashley, I'm so sorry. Looks like he is responsible from all the other killings because it's
around getting fingerprints off people and things
and he's
like
got paint.
Yeah,
he puts paint on that. So there's a shotgun that's Garrett's been shot with, which is like the bit where he has that massive breakdown. You've got the paint coming off it. You've got the knife. He puts fingerprints on the knife. Just all the little bits and pieces again. And if you pay attention again, it's a much richer kind of experience to watch. And it's just brilliant. It's so clever. Again, it's not loads like it's not like a Tenet where you have to watch every little tiny bit ever, but it's enough of the key moments that you can see like, he's put this all together. It's like a perfect jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah, and then when like his face at the end when his mum's hugging him, he's like this little baby, and he's hugging, and you look at him thinking he's just done all that, and she's like,
he's getting away with it.
Are you all right? Are you okay? And he's getting away, and you think, hang on a minute.
Yeah. I love that he's like he gets into bed. He's almost because he's going to pretend that he's taken a pill and he's been asleep for this whole thing. He's just going to pretend that he's been asleep. I took my pill, Mum. I've been asleep. The door's locked. The pencil's still there, so it looks like I've not moved. But he forgets the pencil. Yeah. And he's like, the pencil! Runs down. He's like, shit. Then he like jabs it in the cheek a few more times, drops it in the paint, goes back to bed, and then he can't bloody put the pencil in, so he has to
climb outside.
He has to climb outside the window, knocks the deer ornaments off the roof. And you can see his mum and dad driving down.
He's got an app and he's showing them where they are.
Yeah, he's like tracking them. And it's very clever. Very 2017, I think, this movie. And it's like, that's fucking deer. It's just, I love that picture. Fucking deer. He's just pulling them back up, and then he climbs into his own because he puts the pencil on. He goes through the other room, climbs out the window, climbs into his own bedroom window, gets into bed, so it still looks like nothing's. And then the parents are bantering away, and then they come in, and it's just Virginia Madsen, who's got one of the best voices in Hollywood because she voices all the DC
that
characters.
Conversation from the car to the house is just golden. It's
like,
so good.
Like I genuinely hope they kind of improvise some of that. Like,
I think
if not, it's still good. Great, like if it's written, it's fair play to the writer as well. But it is funny. And she comes in, she sees all the murder and everything, and then he thinks he's gotten away with it. And then right at the end, they're like, one of them's alive, and you're like, fuck, which one could it be? Is it Jeremy who was hung? Is it Ricky who got the paint can and then exploded his head? Is it Garrett who got shot with a shotgun twice? Or is it Ashley? Turns out Ashley put the duct tape over her wound to stop herself from bleeding out.
Yes.
And she gives him the big old finger.
And she gets in the back of the ambulance like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Got you.
And that's the end of the movie. Is it? So at that point we were like, so has he got away with it? Has he not got away with it? Is it gonna be... And then there's a little post-credits thing going, Mom, I think we need to go see Ashley in the hospital. And then we're like, okay, there's going to be another post-credits thing. But there isn't.
No.
And again, that's kind of another letdown for me, that there wasn't
I agree.
that resolution. However, I think coming out of the film, it's one of those kind of choose your own adventure books. You can kind of think, well, he got away with it, or he went to the hospital, killed Ashley, or he got to the hospital, got killed by Ashley. She died on the way to the hospital.
You see, as I said earlier, my thing is that she's in hospital, tooled up, waiting for him.
Yeah.
So Mum goes out of the room, and
like Halloween 2, kind of
leans into her and goes, Ashley again, Ashley, you're mine. I'm going to kill you, and she just fucking stabs him in the front.
But again, is the reason we didn't see that because of the violence angle again?
Maybe,
possibly,
maybe.
But I did.
Oh, she just got in the back arms and goes, "He did it," and then when they arrested him.
But then there's going to be people out there who want him to get away with it. Because they've enjoyed his performance, they've enjoyed the character, they've enjoyed the torture, they've enjoyed all that.
I'm not one of them.
No, he's a little shit.
He is. I want him. Yeah.
I also didn't want him to get
Plus,
away
I'm
with
not a big fan of the name Luke.
Yeah.
So.
Just in general. Anybody who's named Luke, we do apologise.
We do. It's just that, in my life as a teacher and various things, that the kid in the class has always been Luke, who's always been...
For me, I think it's Brian.
Brian.
He was like the first bully at school. It was a Brian. So, not a massive fan of Brian's. Never named my child Brian.
And there just know too many Lukes.
Fair enough.
Must have been a stage. I
do know a lot of Matthews. A lot of Matthews. A few knobheads out there. A few knobhead Matts. Definitely in my life for various reasons. But some good ones as well. But specifically,
I don't know any nice
specifically
Lukes.
One.
If you're a nice Luke,
there's specifically one massive knobhead Matt, but we won't go into that.
Yeah. So if you are a nice Luke, please comment. I'm not saying all Lukes are bad people
or evil,
but I'm saying in my experience, the Lukes I've ever come in contact with have been arses.
Fair enough. If you have anybody that a particular name you hate for whatever reason, please let us know. But yeah, I feel like we've covered that. What do you think?
I think so. I lots of Christmas music as well. Happy Christmas music all the way through it as well. Yeah. And slightly different versions, like slower versions of it, and then speed up versions of the same sort of music and things.
Exactly, yeah. And then they kind of have more like a sharper version, or more like
like the hanging.
Yeah.
Is to Christmas music.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I think is genius.
Oh,
I think it's great.
It's the way they shot it, I think they had to do a certain way of shooting it because of whatever reason. Again, probably due to the violence and stuff and the showing of that violence. But it looks great. It's kind of a almost like a POV of the ground, almost like the snowy ground looking up. But it's fantastic. So good. Highly recommend this one. A lot of these films aren't really that Christmassy because they're alternative. But I think this one is quite Christmassy. It's got, I don't think there's a lot of
It's got hot chocolate in it.
Hot chocolate. It's got caroling. It's got decorations. Fucking deer.
Fucking deer.
Fucking deer. It's got
questionable ornaments.
Yeah, questionable ornaments. You get as many people around as
big
possible.
Korean family people.
Get a bit drunk. Like there's a bit where Ashley, lets him get a little bit drunk because she's a cool. She's like, you know what? As long as I'm here,
babysitter.
Yeah, she's cool. Like she lets him watch scary movies at 13. She could be a complete control freak, but she's not. She has a friendship and reminds me a lot of The Babysitter, the Netflix movie, The Babysitter, which
another good movie.
I recommend.
I like that too.
Sequel's out soon as well. Will be out before
Babysitters
Christmas.
get a bad rap, don't they, in horror movies?
Well, sometimes they get a bad rap.
I blame John Carpenter.
They get a bad rap. John Carpenter apparently came up with all these kind of tropes and stuff about the babysitters, but he was like, no, I didn't. It was like they were like, oh, they're always a virgin. He's like, no, they're not. They're not. Nothing to do with me. That one just happened to be a virgin.
But that's again, who have you been sleeping with? Nobody.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're a virgin?
Yeah.
Virgins always get killed. Virgins, and so all
Virginial
the tropes
sacrifice.
Yeah, they're all in there. They're all in there.
Exactly.
Just veiled slightly differently.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely slasher elements in it.
Oh yeah,
I wouldn't call it a slasher.
No,
again,
I wouldn't.
It's a thriller. It's a Christmas thriller. But yeah, I do always ask her. I say, does it feel Christmassy? Has it had a Christmas vibe? Like the first few of these I did, they were not that kind of. The ones I'd picked, I think, had Christmas scenes, but were not
makes me
necessarily
want to go out and eat
Christmassy.
turkey right now.
Does it? Oh, yeah, turkey, nice.
It makes me want to go out and have some Brussels sprouts.
Ooh.
Some
Dennis, knowing the way you pass gas, I would not have any Brussels sprouts.
What do you mean?
Just saying that
the fact that you compared my fart earlier to raw sewage
to a septic tank.
Septic tank.
Well, we were in Malta. I remember Malta fondly and not so fondly as well.
Made his eyes bleed.
I've never.
No, it's
almost maybe have an asthma attack, Dennis. That's how bad it was.
You had to go outside, didn't you?
I did, and
I just laughed.
My eyes were watering.
Yeah.
It was like being mustard gas.
And I'm not going to breathe. I'm going to taste it instead.
I'm going to eat it. That's how thick it was. It was just like
it was like a cartoon.
Big farty cake.
Going through.
Big methane cake I was eating out of the.
Not my fault. No. I'd had a poorly belly.
I know you had. I know you've not been well, and I helped out as best I could, and I got you your drugs and everything. Let you rest. And it did improve.
You applied nappy rash to me.
Dennis was not very well in Malta, so I had to go out and buy some nappy rash cream because of certain problems Dennis was having. And the lady instructed me because she thought obviously of course I'm buying it for a baby. No, I was buying it for Dennis, who is himself a bit of a big baby. But she as most chemists do, they always tell you how to take it or apply or what have you. And she was like, just rub gingerly on the affected area. And I was like, I couldn't. I was laughing inside because I was like, you have no idea what I will not be doing.
Got a 41-year-old man lying with his legs apart.
Adult baby. Yeah, I won't be. I didn't even bother explaining it. I was just like, you know what? Thank you very much. I'm going to leave now. I've got what I need. I'm going back to the room. Yeah. That's it. You can apply it.
It was quite a traumatic winter for us for me.
Yeah, you were.
You're mocking me now.
No, I know. It was funny though. It was funny. You've got to laugh at it a little bit.
It was amusing
because you were not in a good state.
No,
I couldn't. I don't even know if I could have gotten out of the hotel room. If I was in that state, I think I would have been bolted to the toilet if I was as ill as you were. But...
It was like I got off the plane. Welcome to Malta.
Coming out of both ends. But I thought you did. To be honest, I thought you did very well considering how ill you were. I'm glad we soldiered through and soldiered on because we did have an excellent weekend. So it was worth some of the hard going. We were two hard travelling heroes that time, weren't we?
Yeah,
my God. We were shattered on. I was dead on the plane back. I remember. I
remember falling asleep on the plane and the tannoy waking us up.
Yeah,
and I never sleep on a plane.
Yeah, I know.
Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's usually when the attractive kind of stewardesses come and I'm my head's down. I'm dribbling on my t-shirt. And someone's like, hello, would you like some food? Like, just dribbling everywhere, and I'm just like, this is the most unattractive I've ever been.
I walk up with the imprint of the window on my face. There, like, what's going on? Are we there yet? Are we on?
Malta Comic Con was fun. Go back and listen to our podcast about it. There's like 7 of those podcasts with us in.
And I think that the last one was we were so tired.
Yeah,
4 a.m. we're doing it.
Yeah, something like that. We were like, we've got to close this off because it has been a heck of a weekend.
We're literally leaving at 8 a.m.
Like, why? Yeah, and I managed to ruin some of my equipment there, but it was all good.
It was different, isn't it?
I didn't realise this because I was doing rechargeable batteries, and I thought, oh, this will be fine. But then I come to the last day, and it was just failing on me. All the batteries, even though they were fully charged, were just going boom. And because of the way my setup works, if that happens, the recording is just blank. It doesn't stop. It just goes blank. So I can lose all that. If say we've done 45 minutes, it's gone. It's gone. There's no getting it back. There's no backing it up. And I back it up normally I back it up 3 times after it's finished recording, but that happens during stuffed. But I've learned from those mistakes, so now I don't have that problem
I now have
anymore.
to take medication everywhere I go when I'm out with Dan.
Yeah.
Just in case I have a stomach.
I blame Burger King mostly. I blame them.
I'm going to blame Burger King. And the fact I forgot my tablets.
Yes.
That didn't help.
Yes. Did you bring them this weekend?
I've got them. They're
Good.
there.
You bloody better have.
Sarah, I've got some here, and Sarah packed me extra. Just in case.
Good.
But, I've got, it's not my fault.
I'm the same.
Issues,
I know. It's fine.
Ian finds it funny, so you don't travel very well, do you, Dennis?
And you're like,
my stomach fails to digest certain foods.
That's fine.
And certain foods then want to come out of my body at great speed. Unlucky for me.
Faster than a speeding bullet.
This time it was a 6 a.m. Burger King that wanted to come out of my body fast.
I mean, I was fine, Dennis.
And I didn't even want Burger King. You made me have Burger King.
I didn't make you have anything.
Okay.
Bullshit.
There was nothing else I wanted.
I said, I'm going to have Burger King. And you was like, yeah, I don't fancy it. I'm going to find somewhere else. I had my Burger King. You went, nowhere else was open, or no one else. There's a queue everywhere else. So I didn't make you do anything.
You made me have Burger King.
Don't you bullshit
listeners.
These fans, these Spider fans.
He pinned me to
my Prattalian. Don't you leave them alone.
Pinned me to the airport floor and fed me a double cheeseburger with bacon. And large fries. And a Diet Coke.
Right down your gullet.
And I couldn't defend myself. Oh, onion rings.
Thank you for this opportunity, Dennis. Let me force feed you now.
Yeah, forgot the onion rings. Oh God, they came out whole.
Oh God.
Anyway, Christmas.
Anyway,
It is Christmassy.
It is Christmas.
And you've got the lettering on the kind of credits and stuff.
Yeah, lots of Christmassy stuff.
Like a Christmas card kind
so
of
yeah,
stuff.
it is a Christmas. It's a very Christmassy alternative Christmas movie.
Yeah, I think so.
There's a lot of these alternative ones that aren't that Christmassy. Like, I remember I did War of the Roses where there was only a small scene of Christmas, and I was told that it was a Christmas film, and it really wasn't. It wasn't that great, unfortunately.
No, it's not great.
I think the one I watched before that, though, Rare Exports, that's a really good.
Yes.
That's a great movie.
Yeah.
If you could put up with the sound quality on that, it's one of my earlier ones, so the sound quality is not great. Give it a listen. Again, I was using different equipment back then, so it's not as good as now.
Horror does tend itself to Christmas, doesn't it?
I think it's just
if you look at
holidays in general.
There's more Christmas movies, horror movies, than there are Halloween movies.
Probably, yeah.
I think just Christmas tends to lend itself to that kind of manic state for people.
I think also that it's, you've been good and you've been bad. And where do you fall? And, and there's, the legends like the Krampus or the horror movie like Sint, if you've seen that, the Danish.
Yeah.
He's like a killer bishop, like zombie killer bishop thing. And I think The Punisher seems to have a lot of like Christmas specials as well, the comic. Because, he's making a list, checking it twice. You gotta find out you're naughty or nice. And he's got a gift for them of, 50 caliber bullets.
And you think about it, you think Halloween would probably have far more horror movies than Christmas, but Christmas does lend.
Yeah.
I also think, from an artistic point of view, snow and blood look great together.
Yes.
I think when you see snow, nice crisp white snow, and then blood on it, I think it looks nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it does do that. Yeah. And red, I think red's a good colour for horror movie as well. Yeah.
Green, you got the greens as well.
Yeah.
You got all the lights. Snow's always
lots of things
cool.
You can use as murder weapons.
Yeah. And that's why I enjoy looking at these alternative movies, and we've got a few more coming up. Lots of I'm going to look at a few Christmas comics as well, comic book characters, not necessarily Christmas, but kind of holiday season stuff. Yeah, excellent. I've really enjoyed this film. Highly recommend it. As high as I can recommend a movie, it's nice to actually watch some good movies, because it's been a while since I watched any good stuff.
I came into this completely blind as well. Dan texted me and he said, watch this movie.
We're doing this.
I said, fine. So completely blind. And it's very rare these days, because of the internet and that crap, you see a film blind. And it's great. I'm going to watch it with my wife and daughter.
You can certainly, I'll lend you the DVD.
Will love it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good. I think she is.
Plus, she knows the guy from Stranger Things.
Perfect. Well, then that's. I'll leave you that DVD to take home.
She will definitely like, because she's sick like me.
Yeah. Runs in the genes.
I love my daughter.
Sociopath gives birth to a sociopath. But it has been wonderful chatting to you about this. Again, great movie. Check it out if you're after something not Home Alone, but a bit like Home Alone, but a little bit darker. So before we go, we've got to do all the shout outs to all the social medias I have. So where can you find us? So you can find us on Facebook at Secret Bores, Twitter it's Dan at Dan_Bores, Instagram Spider Dan Secret Bores, and the podcast, as always, is available on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, and previews are available on YouTube, and many more. And if you'd like to donate towards the podcast, you can buy me a coffee at ko-fi.com/SpiderDan and the Secret Bores. And don't forget to use the hashtag #PrepareForPrattle when you interact with us. So I've been Dan.
I've been Dennis. It's been an absolute pleasure as always.
Happy holidays, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.